despite the possibility of an FX3 Mark II on the horizon potentially. Today we're going to talk about why that might not be what you need to look for, because the FX3 is still an incredible camera for 2025. My name is Eric from Mutable Productions, and we're going to talk about some of the amazing things that this camera can still do for you. Some of the most amazing points about this camera is its portability. It is a nice compact camera body, no different really than most of your top of the line photo cameras these days. It's a very compact body, works great on a gimbal, does amazing things with the built-in XLR handle that is removable, so you can kind of rock with it. If you need it for more of an interview setup, you can take it off. Both work great because the image quality on this camera is so impressive that you're gonna be able to use it for anything. One thing that is great about this camera is its codec capabilities. With 10-bit 422 potentially across the entire board, it's great to have H.264, H.265, you have different compressions, you have different resolutions, frame rates. This thing really works in many different ways, so much so you see this camera as something that's mounted on car rigs, or something that can even be attached to a drone and have, you know, we've seen that been done in the past as well, because there's just so much versatility with a body so small that it's great. There's mounting points all over the camera that you can build it out in any which way. You can put a cage on it, leave it with just the top handle. The possibilities are simply endless with this camera. Another great feature in that vein is that there is internal stabilization. If you've seen our FX6 video, or even if you have an FX9 as well, those cameras don't have built-in internal stabilization. So to have that on a camera body so small is a very helpful point for those run and gun moments where you do need something that's compact. It works great in a pinch and really gets the job done very well. Another great feature that really this was the first time that I realized how necessary they are: tally lights. There's one on the front so the subject knows when you're rolling. There's one on the back so you can make sure that you're rolling. It's great if you have to kind of have this camera out for an event. You can still see that tally light and kind of make sure, okay, I'm good. I know I'm still recording. I don't have to frantically run about the whole event space to make sure all of the cameras are rolling. Just a lot of great features in that regard. And lastly, if you need to, you can take photos with this camera in a pinch. I wouldn't rely on it for great professional, situations where you do want that high megapixel count, but at about a 12 megapixel sensor size here, you're still going to be able to get great quality photos. And since this is such a great sensor, they're still going to look sharp, they're still going to have a lot of detail, and with the dynamic range of this camera, you're going to be able to pull a lot of detail out of those photos as well. The image is so great, in fact, that these cameras are used for blockbuster cinema films. The Creator was filmed with an FX3. That just goes to show how sharp the image is, how versatile it is, and how much you can still work with it to create a great final product in editing. You have the dual base ISO here with ISO EI 800 and 12800, so you can have flexibility there. You have Cinetone, you have S-Log3, which we use the S-Log3.cine format. It just gives such a great image and just handles skin tones and highlight roll-offs so effectively that even in your edit, since you do have that 422 10-bit codecs, you can make a lot of magic happen in your color grade. So let's talk about who this camera is for. Whether you're a content creator who just needs a great camera with XLR capability, mind you, super helpful in my opinion, or if you're a production company that needs a B cam to an FX6 or an FX9. Personally, here at Mutable Productions, we love having the FX6 as our A camera, our main camera. We can easy rig it, but if we need a gimbal camera and we don't want to break down the FX6, this is a great camera in a pinch. It's a great B cam for those interviews from the FX6, or if we bump up to an FX9, Burano, anything like that, this is going to be a great secondary camera. If you're doing a full-blown production, this is a great crash camera. So if you need a camera that maybe you don't want to risk an ARRI, for example, this can kind of take a beating. You can put it in some tight spaces and really make some great things happen with that. The funniest thing about this camera is that as Justin and I were building out the list of things that we want to talk about for this camera, and we got to the cons, there just wasn't a lot. Con side, you might need to rig it out a little bit if you want it to look a little bit more different than a photo camera to impress your clients. Really the only con that we can think of is there's no built-in ND. And that can be a problem just because, you know, if you're buying a cheaper ND filter, for example, it might have some color tone shifts, so you might have to do a little bit more work in post-production. But really, this camera punches way above its size, way above its weight class. You know, this video kind of, as I'm talking through these points, it feels like the compact type of conversation that I'm having with you, that this camera is for productions. You know, there's a million and one ways to use this camera. There's a million and one things that we love about it. Very few things that we don't like about it, but we use this camera for what it's good at. And I think with any tool within cinematography, that's the most important point, is to use the tool for what it's good at. If we need to step up, we'll use the FX6. If we need to step down, we'll use the Osmo. This is perfect for the class that it's in, and I highly suggest thinking about picking this up, because this is my personal camera and I have zero plans on getting rid of this thing. There just isn't going to be a time in the near future where I'm gonna have gear envy while owning this camera. As a personal camera, it will be a standby for many, many years to come. So in the comments, we would love to hear what you use this camera for, what some of your most incredible use cases have been, either with this camera or its APS-C cousin, the FX3. They're both incredible cameras. We just prefer having that full frame sensor for what we use it for. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We hope that you've been really enjoying the content that we've been putting out lately. We're really trying to focus heavily on the YouTube side and educating you guys with stuff that we use and how we tend to find success with it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you found something useful in this video, and we'll see you next time.